Every once in a while, a company comes along that it breaks all the rules. Its performance is so off the charts, it feels like an outlier from another generation. Right now, that company is, without a doubt, Nvidia. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how this happened and why it matters.
All right, so to really get a handle on this, we've got to start with the numbers. And honestly, they're just staggering. They put Nvidia in a league of its own.
So get this. In its 2024 fiscal year, Nvidia's revenue didn't just climb, it shot up by 126%. I mean, that's not just growth, that's an absolute explosion. For a company that was already a giant, that kind of acceleration is practically unheard of. And you'd think that would be the peak, right? Nope, the momentum just kept rolling. For fiscal 2025, the projection was for revenue to more than double again, blowing past $130 billion. This chart really just says it all, doesn't it? Look at that jump. It's basically a vertical line. We're talking about going from $27 billion to over $130 billion in just 2 years. This isn't just a company growing, it's a company being completely remade before our eyes. So the big question is, where is all this money actually coming from? Is it their famous gaming cards? Is it automotive tech? Well, it turns out it's one single part of the business that's driving this entire machine. And here's your answer. A whopping 88% of Nvidia's revenue now comes straight from its data center division. This is the part of the company building the guts of the AI revolution, and it has totally taken over everything.
But here's the real secret, the part that everyone needs to understand. Their dominance in the data center, it's not just about having the best hardware. Oh no, it's about a brilliant strategic moat they've been digging for more than 15 years.
And that moat has a name: CUDA. Now, this is the absolute key. CUDA is their own special software that developers have to use to program their chips. And once all your AI models are built on CUDA, getting out is, well, it's a nightmare. It's incredibly expensive and complicated. They've basically locked you into their world. And that lock-in, that's the magic trick. That's how a hardware company can pull in gross profit margins of over 70%. Seriously, those are numbers you expect from a pure software business. It's the clearest financial sign you'll ever see of just how much power they really have.
So you have this incredible dominant position, and naturally that leads to the one question on everyone's mind. Can this possibly last? Which brings us right to the big debate, the bull case versus the bear case for Nvidia.
So it really comes down to two competing stories. In one corner, you have the bulls who are all in on that unbreakable CUDA moat, a massive long-term AI spending boom, and Nvidia's relentless pace of innovation. And in the other corner, you have the bears who are looking at huge geopolitical risks and a stock price that's, well, pretty darn high.
Let's break down the bull case. First, they say that software moat, CUDA, is basically unbreachable. Second, they argue this whole AI build-out isn't some flash in the pan. It's a multi-trillion-dollar supercycle that's just getting started. And third, with a brand new, more powerful chip generation coming out every single year, how can competitors ever hope to catch up?
But the bears, they have some really solid points. First, so much of Nvidia's business depends on global politics, especially the delicate situation between the US and China with chip exports. That's a huge wild card. And second, that sky-high stock valuation, it is priced for absolute perfection. There is zero room for error. Any little slip-up could be a really big problem.
Okay, so let's dig into that valuation risk, because it's really the heart of the bear argument. Is the stock actually priced for perfection?
And when you look at the actual numbers, it's pretty fascinating. Yeah, if you look backward, the trailing PE ratio of around 47 looks pretty steep compared to the rest of the sector. But here's the thing. Because profits are expected to grow so incredibly fast, the forward PE, what you're paying for next year's earnings, drops all the way down to a much more reasonable 29. And that's the number the bulls are laser focused on.
All right, so we've seen the mind-bending growth, we understand the CUDA moat, and we've heard both sides of the bull versus bear debate. So, where does the analysis land? What's the final verdict here?
Well, the verdict comes down firmly on the bullish side. The core idea is this. The AI revolution is just so massive, such a powerful and long-term trend, that it's strong enough to outweigh the very real risks of a high price tag and all the geopolitical drama.
So let's just boil it all down. Here's the investment thesis in a nutshell. Number one, they're the unrivaled market leader with over 80% share. 2, their financials are simply generational. Crazy growth, insane margins. 3, they're riding the wave of a massive AI supercycle. But number 4, and this is the big one, it's a high-stakes bet. That valuation absolutely demands they keep executing perfectly.
And that really leaves us with the big final thought here. There is absolutely no doubt that Nvidia is building the core infrastructure for the future of artificial intelligence. The multi-trillion-dollar question is simply, what price are you willing to pay for that future?